Oh, hello there, and I do hope you're all well. Now is Bumbling Tory MP James Cleverly really being exposed on the Brexit lie? Well, the walking oxymoron, as I like to call him, because he's not that bright, is he? Was invited on LBC's Nick Ferrara show and was asked if these queues in Dover and Folkestone had anything to do with Brexit.
As a Brexit minister, can I take you elsewhere in Kent from Ramsgate? I'm taking you around the coast of Folkestone and Dover and the problems that we witnessed there from Friday through the weekend. I'm delighted to tell my listeners, in fact, I've got a monitor here, they are easing, so let's hope if you've delayed your holiday and you're going down today or tomorrow, you have free passage. But we had enormous problems over the weekend, Secretary of State. Was this down to Brexit?
It's worth remembering that we were never part of the Schengen area. So we have always had to have a passport control on Brits going
respectfully,
into
you
France
could just
and
wave
French
it. You could just wave it at the man or woman, really, couldn't you, Secretary of State?
Yes, but the point that we have made is that we haven't suddenly become a more risky country than we were before we left the European Union. So the point is, we were never part of the Schengen area. We've always had border controls. The summer, particularly that first weekend after schools break up, is always really busy. This is predictable. I think the French authorities could have put more people on, should have put more people on, should have predicted this surge in demand, both because of the time of year and also because a lot of people haven't had the chance to get away for a couple of years. I know Liz has spoken with her French counterpart, Grant Shapps has spoken with his French counterpart, and I do hope that, as you say, the pictures that we're seeing with traffic flowing more easily will continue, because it's in everybody's interest, both here in the UK and in France, for that incredibly important crossing to be functioning at full capacity.
But just to press the point, we didn't need to get our passport stamped until 6 years ago, until the Brexit vote.
Well, as I say, the checks at the border have always existed. The stamp in the passport is less than a second's worth of extra bureaucracy.
Respectfully, Secretary of State, it takes more than a second. Respectfully, Secretary of State, it takes more than 1 second to open a passport, look at your face, check the face, and then stamp it. That's more than 1 second, Secretary of State. You know that.
Yes, but most of that process pre-existed. As I say, we were never part of the Schengen area, so we have never had passport-free access to France. And actually, this peak demand, this pinch point of demand, could and should have been predicted.
Now, you notice he didn't answer the question and just prattled on about Schengen and practically said it's all them pesky Frenchy people's fault. and now we're talking to our French counterparts and all that guff. But I did notice his tone with Nick Ferrara was very much different to when he got the same pushback from Kay Burley the day before on Sky Sports, spouting the same party nonsense of it's everybody else's fault but ours. Well, I thought when it comes to Nick Ferrara, he's right what he says. You know, he practically just won't let him get away with just that answer. But anyway, enough of listening to them two. Let's have an expert on to explain it for our walking oxymoron. Cue Simon Calder.
There are two things going on, of which the easiest to explain is what's happening with French border control, because at Folkestone and at Dover you have juxtaposed controls. Makes much more sense to have all the checking done on this side of the channel, because otherwise you'd have terrible queues building up in Calais and Dunkirk. So that's what we've done for decades, because it clearly makes a lot of sense. When and there's a very entertaining headline here in the Sunday Times front page: French insistence on passport stamps causing holiday chaos. Well, when you actually talk to the people who are running the operation, that's Eurotunnel and the ferry companies and the Port of Dover, they say British insistence on passport stamps causing holiday chaos, because we have to be absolutely clear. This was exactly what we asked for. We said we want to leave the EU, perfectly reasonable political choice, no qualms about that. But once the deal was negotiated, we said we want to be third country citizens, therefore we want an external EU border, and we want to have all our passport stamps. And the rough estimate is that it takes about 3 times longer to process a carload of people if you are going to stamp their passport, it would take much longer if you carried out all the checks they're supposed to check. But it's certainly not a French insistence on passport stamps. So that is turning what was previously a very slick conveyor belt, just getting people through. It's all about process. They're obsessive about just getting people, cars, trucks, buses, and people across to continental Europe. That's just what they do, and they monitor every moment of the day. That gummed up on Friday. It gummed up again on Saturday. It would have been sort of manageable, except that the roads of East Kent are a nightmare. Yesterday, I took my bicycle for a ride across the sunlit uplands of East Kent because I figured that with a bike I could kind of get around all the traffic jams. And there are hundreds of trucks parked just on the A20 between Folkestone and Dover, for example. And I understand, you might remember that there was all this stuff about a hold up in the tunnel. There was the reason the French couldn't get to work on Friday morning, or at least one reason they were so late, was because they couldn't get through the traffic on the A20 to get to work. Yeah. Then you've got the M20, which is the main artery going into Folkestone and Dover. A lot of that is closed off to be a lorry park, which is a direct consequence of Brexit, because, of course, none of the infrastructure was put in thinking, oh, let's have an external border of the EU here. Yeah. And so it's a problem which is kind of going to ebb and flow. At the moment, it is at absolute peak horribleness.
Well, there you go. So it's undeniable, isn't it? You know, it can go around all the social media outlets and just pump the party line, gaslit nation. But if you still think that this has nothing to do with Brexit, then you're in a cult, aren't you? It's clearly obvious. It's obvious, and I've heard what other people say quite clearly. It's going to happen again. So if you're going to, so my motto is: who am I going to believe? The walking oxymoron James Cleverly, Ethan Ben Habib, or travel expert Simon Calder? I know who I would believe. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care. And I've just realised I forgot to mention this: 9,000 subscribers. I'm well chuffed and well proud, and thank you to you all. So I shall bid you farewell and take care before I ramble. Take care.